TURGAL swastika. After watching a television program about ancient Egyptian pyramids, Dimitri Day, an amateur archaeologist, wondered if his country may also harbor its own undiscovered exotic ruins. Day began to explore the Kazakhstan steppes on Google Earth in his free time. Although he didn't find any pyramids, he did stumble across strange human-carved figures across the deserted plains. After that first discovery, Day has found over 260 different land designs that look like crop circles and more intricate patterns. The most famous figure is one of the most elaborate, the TURGAL swastika. The geoglyph is shaped in the form of a three-beam swastika. Each beam ends in a T-like figure, the ends of which are bent counterclockwise. The strange swastika's size is calculated at 310 feet, with a slight 16-foot depression in the middle area. The Kazakhstani structures are so out of place that researchers initially thought they may have been forgotten Soviet installations. But after NASA released satellite images of the hieroglyphs in 2014, many archaeologists have debated the age and purpose of the structures. To investigate the hieroglyphs, an international team of scientists led by Andrei Logvin of Kostanay University explored two of the sites. After their field research, the team confirmed that the structures were definitely human-made and required immense effort to build. According to archaeologist Giedre Matuzevitsute, a member of the research team, quote, "The soil there is very heavy, like clay, and the earthworks are located in the middle of nowhere." Dimitri Day believes the earthworks were part of a Neolithic sun cult, while some archaeologists have considered more straightforward options, such as animal corrals or stone circles. The 260 earthwork shapes can only be seen from the air and could be up to 8,000 years old. The group used modern dating methods to pinpoint a construction timeline. They agreed on 800 BC for one and 750 BC for the other. At the time, the Iron Age was dawning, and the first towns and monumental buildings began to appear in the area. Still, finding the purpose of these features is more challenging than dating them, and scientists from all over the world are still debating their meaning. Great Flood. In 2012, a controversial Google Maps discovery threatened to rewrite the history of ancient Egypt. Angela Micol, an American researcher who created the Google Earth Anomalies blog, published her discovery of two clusters of mysterious angular mounds in the Egyptian desert while surveying satellite images. The two sites are located in the Nile River's vicinity, 90 miles apart from each other. One of the sites has a 140-foot pyramidal shape and is located less than 2 miles from the ancient city of Dimai. According to Micol's blog post, the site also has 3 smaller mounds that resemble the exact diagonal alignment seen in the Giza pyramids. The structure is even larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Patterns on the triangle show significant water erosion, suggesting that a great flood may have destroyed the site. Micol was contacted by an Egyptian couple who claimed to have important historical information on both sites. Medhat Kamal al-Qadi and Heidi Farouk Abdelhamid are collectors of ancient maps, documents, books, and historical manuscripts. The couple claimed that the formations spotted by Micol were both labeled as a set of pyramid complex sites in some of their old documents. Their papers are said to be written by scientists and senior irrigation officials. They consist of a map from 1753, another map by Napoleon Bonaparte's senior officials during their occupation of the region, and other documents by the General of Irrigation for Lower Egypt during the 1880s. All documents point to the existence of 2 buried pyramids on the sites, which are located near the Fayum pyramids of Hawara and El Lahoun. If Micol and these maps are correct, the structures would be the largest pyramids known to mankind. The finding could even overshadow the discovery of the pyramids of Giza in 1954. A preliminary on-the-ground expedition occurred in 2013 at the site near Abu Sidum, which reported the possible discovery of a shaft-like figure, but the project was abandoned due to civil unrest. Geologists and archaeologists are mostly skeptical of Micol's claims and have dismissed the anomalies as buttes or windswept natural rock formations. But the question still remains as to a possible unknown piece of history. Peru Pyramid. In 2008, researchers discovered a Peruvian crop field where the vegetation appeared to have been discolored by an ancient and unknown structure hiding underneath. They used Google Maps satellite imagery with an algorithm to identify the buried ruins. Later that year, an excavation at the site revealed a 300 by 328-foot, 7-level pyramid just south of the Nazca Lines. The structure is similar in size to the Great Pyramid of Giza and may have held equal sacred importance. The pyramid was a major ceremonial center for the Nazca people, based from 1 AD to around AD 500 in the central Andes area. Giza overlooked some of the Nazca Lines and is believed to have been a pilgrimage center with a small population and a robust agricultural system. Strongly influenced by the preceding Paracas culture, which was known for its intricate textiles, the Nazca people produced crafts and technology such as clothing, ceramics, and the iconic geoglyphs. It is not fully known how or why the Nazca disappeared, but they may have abandoned Giza after earthquakes and floods. Approximately 1,500 years ago, the monuments were sealed and buried under the desert sand. Desert wheels. The Nazca Lines are not the only intriguing giant patterns in the world. Across the ocean, in the Middle Eastern deserts, a mysterious set of circular shapes estimated to be 6,000 years older than the Peruvian structures have fascinated researchers for decades. This mystifying cluster of wheel shapes of up to 230 feet in diameter is located in Jordan's Azraq Oasis. It is believed that the figures were built in prehistoric times. Researchers have found that although some spokes are arranged in a randomized pattern, others have a southeast-northwest orientation that may align with the sunrise during the winter solstice. Pilots first encountered the structures in World War I, but it wasn't until 1927 that RAF Flight Lieutenant Percy Maitland described the designs in a published report. When the pilot asked local Bedouin tribesmen about the shapes, they could not explain the formations and fearfully referred to them as the works of old men. Thanks to Google Maps, thousands more have been found across the Middle East. Throughout the years, several groups of scientists have traveled to the area to study the figures. In a series of tests using a technique called optically simulated luminescence, researchers were able to identify that some of the wheels were built as far as 8,500 years ago, when the prehistoric era's climate was more hospitable in parts of the Middle East. A published study in the Journal of Archaeological Science stated that the geoglyphs can be found in thousands of fields throughout the entire Arabian region, from Syria across Jordan and Saudi Arabia to Yemen. Archaeologists still debate what drove the ancient cultures to build the figures. Researchers have theorized that the mysterious structures could be remains of buildings or cemeteries, while the most common belief is that they had religious significance. Amateur observers have pointed out an eerie similarity to figures depicted in the unsolved Voynich manuscript, an illustrated codex handwritten in an unidentified writing system. The book was made of vellum dating back to the early 15th century, while the text is believed to have been written in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. However, the manuscript's origin and authorship are unknown, and have remained the subject of theories for centuries. And whether the book gives a clue to the meaning of the Azraq Oasis figures still remains a mystery. Desert gates. In 2004, Abdullah al-Said was in the Saudi Arabian desert as the leader of an archaeology expedition trip when they stumbled upon a set of 3-foot-high stone walls among the Harat Khaibar volcanic fields. 4 years later, al-Said looked up the coordinates in Google Maps and realized the extent of his peculiar discovery. The team made the trek to the remote area once again. This time, they sent photos of their findings to professional archaeologists. To this day, scientists have identified nearly 400 of these mysterious stone structures. Archaeologists have called them desert gates because they resemble field gates when photographed by satellites. However, they are still perplexed by their purpose. The gates are associated with lava domes that are now inactive, but probably erupted during their construction. These domes ejected lava, which then flowed down the sides of the structures, creating lava fields. Some of the walls mimic an I or T shape, while others are rectangular. The longest wall is almost 1,700 feet long. The low stone walls were created right on top of these fields, suggesting that they were not used to retain herd animals. purpose of the gates built on top of volcanic fields still puzzles archaeologists, as there is not much additional evidence. Some believe the gates are related to the aforementioned desert wheel hieroglyphs in the Middle Eastern desert, works of the old men, as the local Bedouin citizens referred to them. According to archaeologist David Kennedy from the University of Western Australia, quote, "We tend to think of Saudi Arabia as desert, but in practice there's a huge archaeological treasure trove out there, and it needs to be identified and mapped. The sites are likely to remain forbidden secrets, as the area is hostile to discoveries that contradict the Quran in any way."